kind of started the talk for buying into the business and said, let me get in and be the manager.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and then decided, I went to them and said, okay, let's do it. Let's get this done. And so we did. You know, not everybody is at the same fitness level.
Right.
Not everybody has the same amount of time a day. Not everybody's in this, the same mindset.
Sure.
So you have to meet them where they are, get to know them, and that's what I love about my job. Getting to know each and every one of my members, not just them, their family, their friends, their support, what they need, what they don't need, how they learn, how they grow, and then evolve from there.
But what can Americans do to slowly unhook themselves from this food?
I think they have to just simplify it. I feel like they start out because they feel overwhelmed.
Sure.
And they want it. Everybody's always on the go. They need something fast, quick, and easy. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. So keeping it simple, start by, I know, a lot of people I don't like to meal prep, but once you do it and you realize you can do it very simply, very quickly, it's okay. And you're like, well, I don't like to eat the same things all the time. When you go to a restaurant, don't you typically order the same thing every time you go?
Yeah. You can see the people when they're on Ozempic. They don't look right.
Nope.
They look leaner, but they don't look healthy.
You can pick them out of a crowd.
Yeah, you're just like, something is just, their faces are just sucked in. Something is...
They got saggy skin on a skeleton.
Yeah.
Not everything has to go on their personal page.
Yeah.
Now, a Little Black Dress, it gets a little more where they're a little more on their personal side of things, but it's a bigger challenge.
And that is such a great competition as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
it's accountability too. I mean, once you put it out, it's like, setting goals and saying and putting them on paper or saying them out loud or doing it. And once you do that, you're more apt to stick to them.
Yeah. Plus, I think the celebration that you guys do at the end as well. I mean, everyone loves to see beautiful women get dressed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that, and some people, we talked about military. Some, get dressed up to do the military stuff. Well, some don't. So this is their chance to be able to live that too. What I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of ladies say we never get to dress them, do anything like that. So,
right.
And, we always see so-and-so going to this and doing that. So they like that because some of them don't get to do that.
Yeah, and there's something about the little black dresses. It's very sexy. So
that's cute. Yeah. They love it. They already shop for them. They already have I feel like it's year round now. You'll hear them talking about shopping for them, or they found
I believe
one.
it. Yeah, well, just the pictures and how everyone took it serious and everybody was all dialed up and enjoying life, and that's what's part of it.
Is this gonna be our 10 year? No, because we skipped a year because of COVID. So I think this is gonna be 9.
Did they have the little black dress before you came? Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's been ongoing. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's pretty neat too, because you get to see how you've aged gracefully from year to year to year to year. So.
And I have some members that have been with them since day one. I mean, since 2016. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's incredible.
That's 8 to 9. Yeah.
Because they started out as still a franchise. It was Delta Life.
Is that what it was before? Mm-hmm. Delta, that's what it was called?
Yeah, only for a brief, I don't even think it was a year. Because they've been in business for 9 years. Mm-hmm. So if we do calendar years, this will technically be 10. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it'll be the 9th year of Little Black Dress because of 1 year off because of COVID. But
Little Black Dress.
Yeah. Yeah, this year our challenge name for the new year is Time to Thrive in 2025.
That's the new one.
Yeah, it was Strive for More in 2024.
Yeah.
Now this one's Time, Thrive for More in Time to Thrive in 2025. I have to picture it.
Time to Thrive in 2025.
Yeah.
So let's talk about 2025. Brandy Brinker from Coastal Fitness Training, Golf Breeze, Fitness Extraordinaire. And you've owned this gym now for 3 to 4 years?
I've been there for going on 4 years. Mm-hmm. I have owned it for a little over a year now.
A little over a year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I started out as a member, then started coaching. And then I got asked to buy, and I said, let me try. Let's get in there. Let's get to work.
They were like, hey, we need somebody that's got enough energy that can run this thing.
Yes. So I got in there and earned my respect and trust. And
sure.
put some blood, sweat, and tears and said, let's go, let's do it. So it's been over a year now that I've purchased it, and it's been the best thing ever.
So let's talk about that whole mindset to start a business, to come to Florida and to really go for it and go all in and believe in yourself. And so what was the mindset that you took when you purchased Coastal Fitness? Was it just a, like, hey, an emotional thing, I'm going to do it? Or did you have a plan in place?
This has always been a passion of mine. I started out I actually went to college for early childhood education. So I did that, finished that, started working at a learning center at a facility with early childhood education, and then went into the banking world. I switched gears. People treat money and their kids the same, I feel like.
Sure.
So it was an easy transition. But I had always coached. I grew up, my mom owned a gym. We did gymnastics, cheer, and dance my entire life. So being in a gym setting and atmosphere was something I was very familiar with. Being athletic, being in sports. Growing up, I was, played soccer, basketball. I did all the sports. And then as I got older, kind of transitioned more. I coached the gymnastics and cheer for several years with my mom at her gym and a couple other places in my small town. And then kind of transitioned to the fitness side of things versus, the tumbling and the kids. Kind of shift over to the adult and started coaching or training and doing what they called Zumba at that time. So that was my dance kind of came into play, but then I started getting to the fitness side of it. So I kind of dabbled in a little bit of like a hip hop cardio, but kind of mixed it in with a little bit of strength training and HIIT kind of workouts. So you got a little bit of dancing and moving, but we still did jumping jacks, burpees, push-ups. So I did that for several years as just my secondary job. Being a single mom, I would get up, do my own workout in the morning, go to my 9 to 5, get off work, get the kiddo situated, coach some classes, and do it all again. So then the turning point was fast forward 17 years later. Kiddos get ready to go off to go to college. We decided to let's jump, let's go. Housing market was good at that time. I would probably have waited a little bit longer, but he was ready, I was ready. We've got family that lives closer to this area as well, so we said let's go. So we moved here, kind of looked into doing the financial things again in the banking world. Wasn't 100% on wanting to go back into that. Like I said, loved the fitness. So I took some time and just really looked at different gyms, tried different gyms, and then just decided I did a couple free trials at a couple different places. But then I also did one at Coastal Fitness Training. And I jumped in, did the free trial, joined their 6-week Little Black Dress Challenge, actually. And was sold. So I was a member starting in October. They asked me to coach in March, and I said absolutely. So I was the evening coach for a long time, for at least a good year, and then kind of started the talk for buying into the business, and said, let me get in and be the manager. And so we did that, and then decided, I went to them and said, okay, let's do it. Let's get this done. And so we did. And that's kind of where it landed me. So it was more of something I've always loved and wanted to do, is own my own gym and stay in that field. Just at that point in time in my life, it wasn't a feasible thing for me to do. Now that my baby is not a baby anymore and he's a grown adult, it gave me the opportunity to really search and decide, okay, we can do this full time now. Let's do it. So it's definitely not been easy, but nothing's worth it. If it's easy, it's not worth it, right? You gotta work hard, blood, sweat, and tears. So. Yeah,
it is blood, sweat, and tears. So your mom had a huge impact on your fitness.
Yes.
And was she a lifetime gymnast or just a fitness enthusiast?
She got started at a young age, working at a little dance studio that she went to as a student, and kind of started what they called at that point in time like a student teaching. So she would help the teacher out in the dance studio, and kind of evolved kind of the same way mine did. She just started teaching classes as she got older and was able to, and then it went from assisting to actually teaching. And then they were at a point where they wanted to retire, and she was like, I think I want to do this.
Gotcha.
So she was at a point in her life where she was able to take that on. And same thing, really used that as her second form of income and support. She had a 9-to-5 and did when the kids were out of school, everybody was taking them to dance class or gymnastics and cheer. So evolved with time, because cheer started to pick up a little bit after that. Gymnastics as well. Dance was kind of the first and foremost. Then gymnastics came into play. Then the cheerleading came into play. And kind of the same path.
Yeah, that's a great story, and kudos to Mom for putting you in the right direction.
That's right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with fitness, right? Fitness is the best thing you can do for yourself.
And
in terms
honestly,
of health.
Learning even banking plays a part in this role in this business and learning. I'm a person that I want to get to know you, and I want to help you and meet you where you're at. Where I've been in different, bigger companies, situations where it's not always about that. It's about, hitting goals and doing what's best for the company, and not what's best for business and not what's best for the person. And that's how I always separated myself from where if I knew I was in the right place or not, because I didn't want to sell you something or put you in a product that wasn't meant for you. I wanted to see you grow and succeed. So I'm going to find that. We're going to figure it out. And that's the product we're going to give you, or we're going to sell you, or we're going to give to you. So I kind of, roll that into my everyday life, and especially with the gym. Not everybody is at the same fitness level. Not everybody has the same amount of time a day. Not everybody's in this, the same mindset. So you have to meet them where they are, get to know them. And that's what I love about my job. Getting to know each and every one of my members, not just them, their family, their friends, their support, what they need, what they don't need, how they learn, how they grow, and then evolve from there. I mean, that's how you gain lifetime members. That's how you gain people, even people that, move away, I still talk to and reach out to, and they ask me for advice. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a testament to just building your own personal brand, and also building that relationship with the other person. And it's a gift, and not a lot of people have that gift. So kudos to you for that. And let me ask you as well. So you had mentioned that you had went to a couple different other places, but why did you select? What was it about Coastal Fitness that you're like, okay, this is my jam?
I feel, again, the community. It was definitely, it's a welcoming place. Everybody's always nervous, no matter where you go, to get started. And that just once you walk in and you get started, a lot of that is taken away. You have your workout set up for you. You don't have to think about what you're going to do. It's already there. We're going to demo that for you. We're going to embrace you. We're going to support you. And even if you can't do the move fully, we're going to modify it so that you can. Where other places, it was just kind of like, this is what we're here. This is it. This is what we have. Here you go. And which that works for some people. It's, some people like that free, do what I need to do, make up my own workout. That's great. That's why there are places out there like that, or the 24-hour thing. We're not 24 hours, we're classes only. So that may not work with everybody's schedule. And that's understandable. I didn't need childcare. My kid is older, but we do have that. And that was a big thing too for our community, is having that supervised child zone where, it's not just a room that you throw your kid in, it's supervised, it's there. If they need you, we'll come get you. But 4 out of our 6 classes have that the kid zone, so that you can be there, even if you have the kiddos. So that's been nice too. There was a lot of other places that I did like. Something else was we are women's only.
That's important.
So that is another just security, safety, more comfortable, spot to be. So that was big too. I didn't know a whole lot of people. And so that can be intimidating, nothing negative, just a comfort thing.
And you do see that. I never, from a guy's perspective, I'm just not that guy to hit on girls and stuff like that, but I never realized that it could be a big problem, or I guess the best way to put it is, I never realized that there would really be a path for just women. I just thought it would it never dawned on me. I'm like, okay, let's just, I just go work out,
Right.
you work out. But it's working, and women feel more secure. They feel more protected. They feel probably less judged.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah.
If it works for them, that's all that matters.
That's
and
right.
they're getting a great workout in.
Yeah. It takes all the types to make it to make the world go round and for it to work.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So just offering that, and we are a community that we are a lot of transplants. There aren't people, you're moving in and out, and so getting to know people and building friendships is hard, especially as you get older.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, you can have a common thing with children and do play dates and things like that, and a lot of those form out of the relationship that they built at the gym.
Okay.
They hang out outside of the gym.
Sure.
So providing not just a place to come work out and to relieve that we see, stress, sweat therapy.
Yeah.
Sweat therapy. There we go.
therapy,
Sweat therapy.
Sure.
To get your sweat therapy in, you also build that friendship that you may not have because you may not know anyone here.
Yeah, of course.
So, lifelong friends that I have are because of fitness.
Yeah, and that's a win-win on many different levels. You're getting a great workout, but another important aspect of just human relationships is community.
Yes.
And you can't do it alone.
That's
You definitely need some community for sure.
And being able to relate.
Yeah,
There's somebody
for sure.
you're gonna find somebody in that gym that can relate to you. I promise.
We've all got our quirks.
So I love providing that as well. I came here and I didn't know one female, and so it was a nice way to get to know people. And like I said, even back home, my group back home, I still am involved with and close with, and we met, because of the same situations.
Yeah.
Working out together, fitness.
Working out together. And there's it's always fun to, well, I think you're more motivated when you work out with other people.
Absolutely. Accountability. Yes.
And
Motivation.
And a lot of it is just making it there.
Yes.
Because it's going to suck.
Yes.
But you can do it for 30 to 40 minutes.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you tell your girl you're going to be there and you don't show up, she's going to be texting you.
Yeah.
Where you at? Where you at? And that's good. You need that. And
is.
And that's the way it's set up. We do have, an app that you reserve your classes on. That's another step of accountability. You're going to get to know your people. And you're going to, a lot of the ladies come to the same class, but there are also ones that come to multiple different classes depending on the day.
Sure.
So it just depends on their schedule, but you still have that level of accountability no matter if you're in your, designated class time or you have to jump to a different class. You still have those people that are expecting you.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then if not, then you're also like, hey, where are you at?
Yeah, you are. You are. A lot of our ladies have formed, even outside of the class, their own, little chats that they check up they check up with you on. And you don't realize it until you're in one, like, oh wow, like this is so much more than I expected. This is so much more than just a gym membership or I come in and work out, for 40 minutes and then, leave. So, and it also is too, it can be that, I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm not really like, I'm to myself. I'm not really a social person.
Right.
It's also all, what you put in, just like your workout. You put in high intensity, you put in everything you got in your workout, you're going to get it right back.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you're going to get that type of a workout as well. Same thing with the community. I mean, it's not all or nothing. I mean, there's a spot for everyone. If you like to stay to yourself, that's fine. You can absolutely do that. But if you ever needed something, all you had to do was reach out.
Right.
And
exactly.
it doesn't have to be just fitness wise.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about it too. There is literally a spot for any person, any age, any fitness level. And you don't have to be fit to start.
Right. You have to start somewhere.
You do.
And a lot of it's just education too.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
we've all started somewhere.
Got to. I remember those days. You're
Yes.
like, I'm what was it? Back squatting 95 pounds or something like that. You're like, oh my God.
Just the bar?
Just the bar, yeah. Or just trying to do a front squat. I remember,
a push-up?
Yeah, exactly. I remember trying to do a front squat for the first time. I'm like, what the hell?
Do what?
I'm like, what? Or even clean and jerks, like doing clean and jerks for the first time. Your legs would be all bruised up. And you're like, and then the instructor would be like, oh, it's okay. You'll harden up in about 2 weeks or so.
Like,
you won't see him anymore. You won't see any bruises anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's fun stuff.
It is.
So in terms of, so you said meeting people where they're at, which I think is, extremely important. The American diet is pretty atrocious. I can't remember the latest data, but essentially most people are living off of processed foods and ultra processed foods which has been just detrimental to society in general. I think Dr. Casey Means or Callie Means, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Callie Means had stated that, the food industry has been hijacked since the 80s. And now the tobacco industry essentially went and took over for the food industry. And so what is the biggest, I see like food being the biggest challenge for people right now, like really trying to get I guess it's addicted.
Yes.
They're really addicted. Addicted to these, anything inside the aisles is straight processed preservatives. I mean, it's all fake food.
Yes.
So how, what's the best way we can come and say, okay, here's to teach you about what you're eating. Right. And here's a good pathway forward to get you to slowly start to lean out on those processed foods. What is the best way to try to? Because I've talked to people, you've talked to people, I know we're both, kind of fit people, and you're just like, hey, you got to manage. Everything is about diet. And, people don't, I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, yeah, I'm going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, but I'm watching what he's eating and I'm just like, brother, that's not gonna work. That's not how this works. Like if you can't control your diet, you're just wasting your time. You're doing some good, but what can Americans do to slowly unhook themselves from this food?
I think they have to just simplify it. I feel like they start out because they feel overwhelmed.
Sure.
And they want it, everybody's always on the go. It needs something fast, quick, and easy. And it doesn't have to be complicated, so keeping it simple, start by, I know, a lot of people, I don't like to meal prep, but once you do it and you realize you can do it very simply, very quickly, it's okay, and you're like, well, I don't like to eat the same things all the time. When you go to a restaurant, don't you typically order the same thing every time you go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can switch it and vary it a little. You know what I'm saying? Sure. It doesn't have to be gourmet dinners. You don't have to be making these, big, crazy. You can keep it basic. Keep your chicken, keep your meat, keep your fish, keep your fruits, keep your simple, fresh ingredients that you're not opening up out of a package.
Right.
Toss them in an air fryer.
Right.
Toss them in the oven, put them in the crock pot, make it easy.
Instapot,
yes. There's so many tools now that you can use good food to put in and cook it and make it really quick and easy.
Sure.
So I think just going into it, realizing that you don't have to be a chef to make good, nutritious, healthy food. Okay. Anybody can do it. Your kids can do it, which is another good tool, is to include them in doing this.
Sure.
Knock out 30 minutes of, on a Sunday or on a weekend and prep your food and let's go. It's handy, it's ready, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to get a processed food. And then once you just get used to doing that, making those changes of the non-processed food to your, your regular good fresh food, then let's start tracking.
I see.
Then let's start really narrowing down and measuring out. I think the most important thing right now is just to try to eliminate those processed foods. Eliminating that sugar, eliminating those things that aren't fresh, and getting you used to eating those things. You're going to feel different just by doing that.
Right. And I feel like there's even a little bit of a detox. I feel from that food. Like when I stopped drinking like soda and stopped eating all that food, I had an urge to want it. I mean, that's like, you do. Yeah. It's like and that now, dopamine's like, I want that processed food.
And now if you did, because like we talk about cheat meals and things like that sometimes, I sometimes don't even want one because I don't like how it makes me feel.
Would you focus on protein?
I do, for sure, because they don't we've never been taught to pay attention to that and to consume that and to hit the level of grams of protein you need. So the 1 gram per pound of weight you are is ideal. So just starting out and trying to hit, because it can be hard for people just starting out 100 grams.
It is.
Start with 100 grams.
It's hard to hit your grams of protein. If you
naturally.
If you really take a look at it, because it's, let's say 150 pound dude or woman. I mean, that's 4 eggs is about what, 28 grams of protein roughly. And then you've got, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
And so that in itself, again, we're talking about not overwhelming them. So, transitioning to, making the whole food, taking out the processed food, getting used to that, keeping it simple. And then paying attention to what, natural, what has the good protein in it, what types of food, are there, and just giving you that visual.
Go into that a little bit if you can.
So, just like, like you said, like your eggs, your chicken, your natural sources of protein, your meats, and getting those, your Greek yogurts,
Which Greek yogurt do you prefer?
I like ratio right now just because of the taste.
Is it flavored or is it just natural?
I do a raw, non-flavored that I will use that as a base for my sour creams, my dips, you know what I'm saying?
I see. Okay.
But when it comes to like, my eating it with my breakfast or or a snack, I need the flavor. And so I'll do the ratio is probably my go-to when it comes to like flavoring. But to do the raw will be my base to a lot, to be honest. I actually just put it in macaroni and cheese.
Really? Yeah. Mac and cheese.
Because my son wasn't really sure about that over Christmas, but he actually liked it, so it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So it's really yogurt and mac and cheese.
Yeah,
interesting.
You can use milk, obviously, but I just I do use it in my base of a lot.
Yeah, sure.
But so just basically finding out what can give you that natural, protein. And then it's okay if you have you can do a shake, or if you can find a good natural protein bar, they're out there. Or like a fruit-based bar, they're out there.
Sure. Give some examples. Like, would you consider RX bar pretty good? It's fruit-based. It's dates,
and what is it?
It's a lot of sugar.
That's good. Or what is the other brand of? I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. But they are fruit-based. Literally, one of the blueberry apple tastes like applesauce. Right. I think it's called That's It bars. Those and just watching what ingredients are in those, because we're talking about getting away from the process, so you just have to pay attention.
Right.
When you get there. At first, I just want you to stay basic. Just eat real food.
Define real food for people. What does that mean?
That stuff that will go bad quickly.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, your stuff.
It goes bad in 3-4 days. That's real food.
Yeah, it is. Your fresh vegetables, your meats, your just things like that. You walk the perimeter of the store and buy that you will probably have to buy again before the week is out.
Right.
It just depends. You know what I mean? But if it's coming from something that's been sitting on the shelf for longer than a week,
right?
Let's try to just stay away from it. Yeah, completely.
And even processed meats are not good.
Right.
So the lunch meats, all that stuff is loaded with all kinds of stuff. Yes. Preservatives and you name it. It's got it in it.
So I mean, again, and you can cook those things fairly quickly. Pay attention to what you cook with. I feel like so you can fine tune those things to start worrying about your calories if you're wanting to cut back on calories and things like that. Just if you're just starting out and you're trying to get out of detox yourself from those toxic, those processed foods, because you'll have withdrawals. You will have those sugars and those dyes and things like that cause your body to do things you don't realize until you don't have them.
Right.
So then, so start by just eliminating those things. Then once you're like, okay, like I think I got this, then let's start looking at, really hitting that protein, really watching how much calories, start tracking.
Right. Tracking food.
Yes. Everything you put in your mouth.
And there's apps for that can help you with that.
It can be easy. It can also be overwhelming.
It can be, yeah.
But you got to at least do it, and do it for at least 30 days or more. Then and once it opens your eyes, it opens your mind, and you can be like, oh, I know that's got that many calories in it, or I know that that's going to put me over if I eat that. And you don't necessarily have to track everything. If you're not, I am not that person. I can't track everything I eat because I'll want to eat everything I see. Like, it's just a thing. Like, if I'm tracking it, I feel, and I'll go not tracking, and I never eat that much.
I see.
So for me, because everyone's different, tracking everything that I eat doesn't always work for me. Now, I do it, and sometimes I do it more than others, depending upon where I'm at and what I'm looking for. Sure. If I'm switching up my diet, if I'm training for something specific, just depending on where I'm at in my journey, I will track or not track. or change up.
And what are you tracking when you do track? Are you tracking macros?
Macros. Yes, you're tracking that.
And that's
protein.
a whole new world
It is.
by itself.
Yes.
Learning how to track macros and what that means. But the app will help you for that. I think one of them is FitnessPal.
Yeah, there's MyFitnessPal.
MyFitnessPal.
And then there's another one. Gosh, I can't think it off the top of my head now. Yeah. But there are several of them out there. And you just got to find what works for you. Same thing. Like some people prefer MyFitnessPal. Some people prefer, just a basic macro tracker, So it just depends. Just find what you like. I mean, they're all pretty much tracking the same stuff. You just got to make sure you set your goals in there, your weight, your height, and put in your activity level and be honest.
And
That's the other
right?
thing. Yeah. We can track our food, but if you, search in your app for grilled chicken and you just pick the one that has the less calories, like, yep, that's the one I'm eating.
Right.
You may not be eating that one because you may have added olive oil. You may have added, you never know.
It might have been marinated.
Yeah. You can't just
you haven't cooked it yourself.
Pick the one you like. You got to be honest and pick what you're actually, some of them you can scan. Like I know that's an expense, but on MyFitnessPal anyway, you can scan what you're eating, the barcode, and it will pull it in there.
Pull it up, yeah.
Also, you have to put in there your portions. It's one serving. Are you eating one serving?
Right, exactly.
Because that's a huge difference.
Sure.
So that's the other thing. And we help you with that too. During, we do have nutrition consultations. We do some more fine tuning of your diet during those or during our bigger challenges. But we also can just give you a starting point and just be there for you as you're going through your journey and trying to better your diet. We want you to start out just moving first. Right. Once you get set into moving consistently forever, whatever goal you're setting, if it's every day, if it's 3 days a week, whatever it is, do that for 30 days. Then let's start tweaking your diet. So let's start eliminating the processed food. Let's start eating all the, the healthy foods. Let's give you some quick, easy meal prep ideas. And let's just start including and incorporating that into your everyday life. Then let's start tracking, then let's start tracking how much protein are you hitting? What can you eat more of that's going to give you that, more protein. Right. And then you're going to start feeling fuller. So then you're not going to want to eat those processed foods or supplement with having those quick and easy fixes because you're starving. Right. So, I mean, it all comes into play. So I feel like rewind, keeping it simple, keeping it basic, show up, come through the door. We'll meet you where you are. Start moving. Yeah. I don't care what it is, 10,000 steps a day, a morning walk, evening walk, runs, get to the gym. Come and do a workout. You don't even have to know what you're going to do for the day. Just walk in. We're going to tell you what to do. Right. Get moving. It's so important.
Yeah. And that's nice too, though. Just having to just walk in and not having to worry about what I'm doing today.
Yeah. And
it's already programmed for you.
Yeah. Know that you're going to get it done, that you're going to get what what you need. You're going to walk in, you're going to get it done. And you're going to be going on about your day. Yeah. And you're going to have lots of energy to do it with. Right. Because that exercise, people say, I'm just so tired. Like I just can't find time. Exercise will give you that energy. You can find time. I promise. You can find 40 minutes. You can.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have this several classes that we have to help you find that. But even if, just move and then we'll help you from there. But simple diet, simple whole healthy foods, like macros, going back to macros. So your protein, your carbs, and your calories, tracking all those. If it starts to overwhelm you, reach out to someone. Right. We can simplify it and it work.
Yeah, and it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
When you're doing something new, it's gonna be uncomfortable.
And it's okay to try new vegetables that you might think you didn't like a long time ago, or whatever the case may be, because your taste buds do change.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Your taste buds do change over time, for sure. And there's such a benefit, not only from a physical perspective to work out, but just from a mental perspective as well. And that momentum begins to build over time. First day or two, you're like, I don't really want to do this.
And I'm so sore.
Yeah, I'm so sore. And, January's coming up, so everyone's going to be in the gym. Yep. Everyone's going to want to have their New Year's resolution. And here we go. So, and go into a little bit of your session. So you get people, you finally get them signed up. They're slowly building momentum. They're believing in themselves. And they're showing up. And what kind of routines or workouts would you do for somebody who's just coming to the gym for the first time in a long time?
So we always say all of our workouts are tailored to be able to fit any fitness level, any age level. So we have a workout. We give we demo them before we get started.
Sure.
We'll give you modifications if you need them. So if you are, we meet you. If you can't do a push up yet, we will start on your knees. Like we have a place where we'll meet you. We'll get you started, and you'll get to that point. So having to do a modification, whether it be because of your fitness ability or you have an injury or whatever the case may be, it's temporary. And you can build up. You'll get stronger and stronger, and you'll build up to the point where you're doing the move, or you're doing it to the best of your ability. And so all of our workouts are for anyone, and we'll help you with that. So, and you'll see that. Like I said, we do offer that 5-day free trial, which we like for everyone to get those 5 days in, so they can get a variety of what we see, because we don't have a specific leg day, arm day. Right. We don't have specific days. Our workouts are tailored to hit. Some of them may be arm heavy one day, but it's not set that way, so that you don't hit the same body part if you can only come Tuesdays and Thursdays, or whatever the case may be. So, just getting in there, we'll give you modifications to meet you where you're at, and you'll start to grow and see. I've had to add some heavier weights. I've had to get because women are getting stronger. Yeah, they're really getting in there, getting it done, and looking back on just some of their journeys, we have we create our own workouts. So we have a system that holds our workouts. And, as we sit down and we put those workouts out every month, we have to change them and make them a little bit harder sometimes because, the gym's been open for 9 years. So some of those workouts that were done, 9 years ago, created 9 years ago, aren't working because everybody's getting stronger. Yeah. So we got to tweak those a little bit every now and then too. Yeah. And it's fun to see that. And some of the ladies have been there that long and can look back and be like, wow, like I started there. Right. And so, the people that come through the door that are in those same, walking those same shoes, we've been there. And, as long as you stick with it, and this isn't, I know there's, especially now, a lot of the quick, easy fixes that are making people drop weight quickly. Yeah. And muscle.
Let's talk about that.
This is not something that is going to happen overnight.
That's prominent too. Yeah. The Ozempic thing.
It is.
A lot of people are on it. Is it now they're called GLPs? So, is that the proper term? GLP-1 or something? We had to give it a name just so it's more acceptable.
Yeah. So, I get it. It's been around, but it's now they're giving it for the wrong reasons now.
Of course.
I guess is the easiest way to say it.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, sure, it works, but for how long? And what are the repercussions because you're taking this?
Well, yeah, I don't think we know.
We don't.
I don't think anyone has any clue about what the long-term effects. But
the only thing we know is that it makes you lose weight. Well, you know what? That's not the only way to do this.
Well, yeah. It probably makes you lose weight, but I've been told there's a plethora of side effects.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And you lose all your muscle.
Right. You lose your muscle. In addition to that, you might have GI problems. Vomiting's a big problem. There's been all kinds of
paralyzing your esophagus and your stomach.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Vision. There's been things a lot that it's going to affect everyone differently. And you're not going to know till you do it. And why be a guinea pig? Right. Why do that to yourself? Right. It's going to be hard. But this is a lifestyle change. Right. And anything that happens like that fast, it's going to come back that fast.
100%.
So it's not sustainable to be on something like that forever.
No.
But it is sustainable to be able to stand up and down and get up and down, lifting things above your head and doing those movements.
Sure.
That will eventually get you to the point where you are thinner. It will be easier to complete those moves. I know it hurts right now if you're a little overweight or stiff.
Sure.
But over time, it will help. And
100%.
I get people are out there, maybe it is your goal to look a certain way. And if that is what you want, that's okay. We can get there.
Sure.
But if it's just to stay healthy and stay moving and to live longer, that is okay too. And both of those people can be side by side in the gym.
Sure.
And both of those people can get those same results that they are striving for, but it's a commitment.
100%.
It's a commitment. It has to be realistic and you have to put in the work. So doing something that quote unquote is a quick fix is exactly that. It's not something that's sustainable. If you need that to jumpstart, and I'm not saying that's what you need.
Right.
But you also have a lot of other work to do in the meantime. You have to change your diet.
Yeah.
You have to change your diet.
100%. It all starts with diet. There's no shortcut to diet.
No.
And it's, you can see the people when they're on Ozempic. They don't look right.
Nope.
They look leaner, but they don't look healthy.
You can pick them out of a crowd.
Yeah, you're just like, something is just, their faces are just sucked in. Something is.
They got saggy skin on a skeleton.
Yeah, there's something weird about it. It's something that's off, and you have to. Well, there's been a huge. I was talking about this last night with some friends. Just the whole movement with the GLP-1s, and just even celebrities promoting it.
Oh yeah.
And even celebrities, a lot of facial changes, that whole scene is unusual to me.
It is.
So it's like,
it is.
I'm like, holy smokes, we live in a crazy world.
We do. And like
the beautiful people who are already beautiful and have every desire to make themselves even look more beautiful, and then they end up ruining their beauty. It's such a strange world that we live in.
Yeah. And like you said, no one even knows really what it can do.
No.
But we know that it isn't good.
Right.
The only result is that, yes, you weigh less, but we just said, you don't really even look
You don't look healthy, and you might have cancer 10 years from now.
Right.
I mean, there's some downfalls to it. It's definitely a unique thing. And I would say that, and not to shun people that use it, I think there are purposes and reasons for it.
Yes, there are.
When somebody is at 400, 500 pounds and it's a last resort, we need to save their life.
Yeah.
I totally understand and get that.
Yeah.
Sure. Put them on Ozempic. Let's get them on a nutrition,
get
let's
them
teach them, get them
Yes.
started. That I completely understand. What I don't understand is the people that are 180, 200, and they choose to. I mean, it's like that meme you see. There's a line there's two lines. One for lifestyle changes, and there's one person, and then there's a line for pills and surgeries, and it's backed up. And you see that. I mean, when I had surgery for my bicep, obviously I needed to have surgery. I was shocked at how many people were at their for surgery. I'm just like, it was like cattle.
Wow.
It's like every day. I asked, I'm like, is it like this? They're like, yeah. Every day people are just coming in for surgeries.
Getting surgeries.
And there's an interesting channel called, I think it's called Gooby and Doobie on YouTube.
Okay.
Gooby and Doobie is his name. This is I'm trying to get this right. He is a neurosurgeon who was giving back surgeries from Duke University, where he went to medical school, and went to MIT for his grad. Obviously an intelligent person. Right. In his 40s, he realized that the back surgeries that he was doing weren't helping. And so he essentially was going through a midlife crisis. About 41 to 42, he had gained 40 or 50 pounds and realized that he had all this education and training, only to come to the fact to realize that I'm performing these surgeries and they're not helping anyone. Mm-hmm. Or it's very rare that they're helping anyone. Mm-hmm. But the medical system, of course, promotes surgery. It promotes pills. It promotes all these things just for money, obviously. But long story short, he realized it and he quit his job. And he started a channel on. He gave it up. Gave up his back surgery. He started a channel on YouTube. It's like, hey, I gained 40 pounds. I was lost. Mm-hmm. I fell apart. I broke. And my wife was like, you need to quit your job. She told him that. Like, this job is killing you. And she saw it in him. And so he did just that. And now he just goes and backpacks. But he's sharing his story. It's like, look, I've had all this education. I've had all this training. And I'm telling you, these back surgeries are not helping people. And it's just surgery after surgery after surgery. So seeing that, I was, and when I was over at Pensacola, I'm just like, oh my God. And this is
what they're talking about.
Day.
Yes.
This was every day. And it's just, and you see it, it's we've been indoctrinated through growing up to trust the medical system.
Absolutely.
To trust all these pills, the FDA, to trust all these organizations. I mean, the charter of the FDA is to protect the safety and the efficacy of the food system. I'm paraphrasing, but it's something like that, right?
Right.
They're responsible for the health and the safety of our food. How the hell does 17 ingredients in McDonald's French fries get approved?
Right. How did that go through?
It's all a scam.
Right.
All of it.
Yep.
It's all just like Gooby and Doobie was saying. He's like, it's all a scam.
Yep.
It's just about getting you on the pills, getting you on the surgery.
Getting addicted to it.
Getting addicted to the food, getting addicted to the pills, and just keeping the money churning. It was shocking to me. And so I think it's important to have conversations like this so we can open that, that box and say, hey, here's what's really going on, in our food system, in our healthcare system, and the mental health institution as well. All of it is based on pills from big pharma. And, going into the mental health aspect of it, 25% of women are on SSRIs. 25%. And it's become normalized.
Yes.
It's normalized now. I was at a gym, a year ago, and there were two women who were comparing their SSRIs. And I'm just like, and I'm looking at them like, what the hell? And it's normal. It's completely been normalized that we live like this, and with the food and the healthcare system and yada, yada, yada. So just to bring this full circle in terms of the food, it's never been more important to understand like what you are eating.
Yes.
And, realizing that, holy shit, that, these McDonald's French fries are great.
Yeah.
But, oh, by the way, it's completely destroying my GI system.
Right.
It's jacking up my nervous system. Now I'm in complete fight or flight mode because I'm not getting the nutrients I need. So my body's starving. And by it starving for nutrients, I am now dysregulated in my own system because I'm not giving it the adequate minerals and vitamins that it needs. It's an interesting world we live in.
It is.
It is bananas.
And like you said, once you take it out, you start to feel so much better. And it is related to that. Like, I think people disown that and kind of push it away, but it is true. You really do start feeling better, and it's worth it. Like I said, none of this is easy. It's easier to be the person that says, yes, okay, I'll just take this shot, take this pill, take this, take that. Or say, oh, I've tried it and just nothing's worked for me. But you really got to dig deep and have that conversation with yourself and sit with it and process it and do the work that it takes, because in the end, it's so much worth it. Like this, we got to get away from the quick fix, the quick eating, the quick fixes, and just really take the time, because in the end, it doesn't take that much time.
Sure.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's doable. It really is. There are people out there, we're talking about, the ones that are, taking the wrong supplements. There are people out there that are doing this every day, and it is, you can accomplish this. You can do this. And it is a lifestyle that there are people out there that do understand. And the more we get out there and we talk about that and we communicate that and we share that in the community, the more people, are going to be like, okay, I can do this. I do have a support. Like, it's not uncommon, to come across people that are living these lifestyles of not eating processed food. You can still go out to eat and get good food. You can still go out and be social and consume things that are going to align with your lifestyle. It really truly is easier now, especially, than it has been. Even with the crazy things that exist and that are popping up daily.
Yeah. And I think a big piece, like the nutrition aspect of it, I think the big challenge most people have is that meal prep. But if you can get that meal prep down on the weekend and set yourself up for success throughout the week, that's going to help you immensely.
You're going to feel so much better. And remember the where you couldn't find time? Your time, you will find it, because it's there. It's done. You don't have to take the time to figure out what you're going to eat, then get it, then fix it. It's done. Pop it in and go. Like, how, even if you're cooking it fresh, depending on how you're cooking it, it can be it can be in under 30 minutes. Hands down.
Yeah.
But preparing it to be cooked, you don't even have to, because some people are like, I don't like leftovers or warming up my food. Put it in a container raw and it's set and ready. Throw it in whatever you're doing, the microwave, the crock pot, the air fryer. I mean, it still can be fresh.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be rewarmed.
Yeah.
So I think there's that concept as well too.
Yeah, and I think at some point, once you do, and you're walking that path, and you do so much work, you're willing to eat for health, not taste.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like I totally eat for health.
You will get there. You'll get there.
Eventually you get to that point.
At first, no, you're not like that, but
No.
you will get there.
You will.
And that's the beauty of it too,
Yep.
is that you get to the point where you don't want those things. You don't
Absolutely.
want those things that are that you used to want, like Doritos or Coke or those things that you really like craved those. Like it goes away. It really truly does.
Yeah.
You just got to keep working.
Yeah, it definitely goes away. And what is one of the best recipes for meal prepping, real quick, if you could just give, because you mentioned the Instapot, and I'm a big fan of the Instapot. I think like I love beef, but if you do like a beef pot roast, throw it in the Instapot. You throw in some veggies
yep.
and maybe a couple potatoes or sweet potatoes, you're good to go.
Potatoes are not bad for you.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
get that, people get the crazy thing that, we can't eat potatoes, can't eat this. And another thing real quick I want to touch on too is
Sure.
like people are like, well, should I do, keto? Should I do carnivore? Should I do animal based? Should I do, just eat clean. Just start eating clean. Then once you want to, it's always good to switch up your diet and
Sure.
your metabolism, give it a check every now and then. So don't be like, okay, I think I'm going to try keto and then just go at it. Just start eating better. Don't do a fad diet. Don't do a
Right.
fad eat. Just start eating healthy and clean and good whole food.
Yeah.
And then, okay, say, I want to maybe pack on some lean muscle. Then you can go and decide maybe this diet of lesser carbs will be better for me.
Yeah.
Or maybe this diet of, some fish. You got it. Then you can fine tune
Sure.
at that point, which is kind of where I feel like we're, when, we communicate where we're at, but just starting out and then, even rotating through. Some people like fasting, some people don't. Rotating those different types of eating styles can come later and would be a great switch up.
Right.
Because you are going to get kind of
Bored.
complacent,
Sure.
bored,
Yeah.
doing the same kind of thing. So then at that point, let's be like, okay, let's try this, meat and fruit thing, or let's try this, keto, let's
Sure.
go through that process. Because the one thing that sticks out too is the keto. Everybody, I'm just going to eat, cheese and and
Yeah,
bacon
beef
and
and bacon, and I'll be good to go, and it'll be great.
you missed the whole process to be able to do that. So yeah, that's the other thing to it too, So just start at that point where, yes. So I'm a big. Right now, I am what is quick and easy for me, and I feel like can keep me on track with my protein and just calories and things like that. Is I'm a big chicken thigh person. Clean chicken thighs, putting them in the air fryer. I can mix them with a sweet potato as a side. I can mix it with some cauliflower rice. I can mix it. I'm personally a big jasmine rice fan. When I really want that, depending upon. Again, sometimes I'll watch my carbs differently depending on what I'm doing in life. If I'm training for something, if I'm, recycling, it just kind of depends. That gets a little tricky. But I'm also like just raw vegetables in the air fryer, toss them, spray them, just a tad of oil or none at all. To be honest with you, you can use butter. It's totally fine.
Ghee is okay.
Yes,
too,
ghee is okay. Like you're not using enough for it's. Where it's going to cause a negative effect, where it's going to clog your arteries. Like you're using it, and
there's some debate on that too for cholesterol. A lot of people are saying cholesterol is good for you.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to tell who's right
it is. But I also feel like it's you. If you already have high cholesterol, then obviously, like you probably don't need to consume the things that are going to add to it. Right. But if you're a healthy individual, and I feel like. It again goes back on the individual, but to have those things in moderation. I know everybody's heard that word before. What is moderation? Because that is different for everyone.
Of course.
But, eating a spoonful of butter straight isn't probably the best idea. You know what I mean? So there's your moderation. Don't do that. Just,
not really tasty either.
Yeah. But, just kind of, toss it, just a little bit, toss your vegetables in it, go on about your day. So I think, and I know that everybody's kind of the cottage cheese thing, but I'm a big fan of it. That's another good source for me.
For you, sure.
And easy. And, you can keep it clean. You got to just look at it. I mean, peanut butter is the same way. You got to look at it, keep it clean.
It's amazing how much peanut butter is
one or two ingredients.
Peanut butter,
right?
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's corn syrup in here, and
I had this conversation with my parents. They pulled out a jar of peanut butter. I'm like, that's not peanut butter.
That's not peanut butter. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like it's everywhere. Like everywhere you go, it's fake food.
Yeah,
because it's cheaper.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And but real quick, let's touch on that. Let's touch on the cost, because everybody's like, it's expensive to eat healthy.
Go ahead.
It can be, but it also doesn't have to be.
Sure.
It's still a choice. I mean, you can spend a whole lot of money on some processed food that's going to sit on the shelf that you might not even ever use, because that's why everybody has pantries full of random things that still are good
for years.
Yes, like if you just think, if you had that $20 back in your pocket, you could go get a thing of chicken thighs and some broccoli and a sweet
what about
potato.
Drumsticks?
Drumsticks? I'm not
or legs.
That's your preference. I don't think if they're horrible, but I don't.
I've heard about chicken thighs as well, but I was trying to figure out if there's a specific reason for chicken thighs versus chicken legs. So if you put them in the air fryer, they're still chicken air fried. Right?
I think the bone in, bone out. There's, you know what I mean? One bone, and it's skinless. That's a big thing too.
Oh, yeah. That's true, yeah.
It just kind of depends. That's just my preference for right now.
But those chicken legs taste so good.
They do. But I feel like I don't miss that with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like every now and then you'll want that, and that's okay.
Sure.
Have it.
Yeah.
Eat it. But it's, if you're, what else is a good, I'm trying to think. We just did our challenge with Little Black Dress, and we put out recipes for everyone.
Even ground beef. Just ground beef.
Yes.
Just a simple taco is healthy for you, as long as you don't go crazy.
You can be so versatile with it. You can make it a taco. You can put it in. You can make a pizza with it. Technically, you can do so much with that.
You can make a meatloaf.
Yeah,
some
you can
kind
do so much with
of turkey balls. I used to make turkey balls all the time.
Yeah. So it's definitely. I mean, you can get creative, but just starting out, keep it simple. Eat to fuel you. Don't eat
to fuel you. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's and you're gonna feel better. And once you start to feel better, you'll realize like, oh,
yes,
I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Right.
And then once you eat bad, like yesterday, I had a little bit of bad food yesterday for Christmas.
Yeah.
But even that, I was like, oh, that's enough.
And that's another progress, is to notice that.
Right.
You know what I mean? To notice that I ate that and it does not make me feel good.
Right.
That is fuel, and that is motivation to keep on doing what you're doing, because sometimes people have that, and they more of it, and they want it again the next day, and they want it again the next day, and then it's now a part of their regular meal, and that's when that is not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Right.
And so when you can get to that point, which you will get there, you will get to that point where, like I said, there are times when I can absolutely choose that, but I choose not to, because I remember I don't like how I feel after I eat it, or drink it, or whatever the case may be. So that is something that we like to point out and recognize too, because it does happen. It does get to that point where you don't want those things. Yeah, and you feel the bloatedness. You feel like your stomach's like something's not quite right, and you're just like blah. And then there's a I don't know how scientific this is, but there is a video of some rats. I think I might have told you this before. I'm from Brown University, but they gave a rat just protein and just normal stuff, and it was able to find it. So they put the rat in a box that was surrounded by had to find a staircase to get out of the water, right? So they put it in there. They fed it, a good food first, and it had no problem finding its way out. Then they fed it the American typical diet. It couldn't find its way out. It struggled to find its way out. And my son had mentioned this too to me one time. He had said that he doesn't drink a lot of coffee, but he had drank this coffee and it just made him go like all the sugar and all this caramels. And he's like, I just couldn't even think straight. And that's what the diet does to you. It just gets you so messed up here. Again, it goes back to, it really impacts the nervous system. It does.
It really, really does. Yeah. And you don't realize it. And we've all become victims to it, because eating this way has become the norm. Right. Where, I had mentioned, or I think I had posted on my social media is like when you tell people you don't eat sugar and you don't drink alcohol and you don't eat processed foods, you're the weirdo. They look at, I mean, I've been at a place within the last year to a party where I was with a person and I wasn't drinking, she wasn't drinking, and they looked at us like we were crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just like, no, I'm just enjoying myself, just being here.
So true. It's so
like,
true.
Holy smokes.
It's so true. But I know I have found that once, because you do feel that way. But once you say that and then you start to kind of talk about it, then the other ones are like, hey, like I don't drink either. You know what I mean? You try to help that, you know, and make it to where, you know, we aren't those, and you know, we are normal. We are we aren't the ones that are standing out in the crowd, you know. Right. But I like the fact that people are starting to go that direction.
They are. More and more people are saying I don't drink, and that's good. I think, you know, alcohol has a place, and not to shun it, and it's fun, you know, to do it once in a while. But alcohol can be very detrimental to you, just like any
especially
substance.
In your fitness journey.
100%.
If
you can't combat that. I mean, there's no if you can't control your alcohol, there's nothing you can. Matter of fact, I was talking to somebody today who was telling me that, okay, well, let's go into it. So he came over earlier today and was like, he was just being open with me, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm getting older and I'm having problems with erectile dysfunction. And my first comment to him was, what's your diet? What is your diet like? And he's like, oh, my diet's good. But I'm looking at him, it's like, okay, I'm not really believing him.
Right.
But I'm like, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
But so let's real quick, that's where you dive in to people have to be honest with themselves.
Right.
What are you really eating? Because, I'm eating good. I mean, I'm not going to McDonald's every day, but I'm eating good.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that.
Right.
So realizing.
And then and it come full shortly thereafter, he had mentioned, he was like, well, it's drinking. That's what it was. He's like, my diet is good. And I'm looking at his beer belly. I'm like, no, something's off, you know. And then he was like, it was the alcohol. But you can't. Alcohol is so detrimental to the body. There's nothing good. It kills
your metabolism.
It kills. It just destroys. Yeah. It destroys the body.
And the calories that you consume without even, if you're, in order to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit.
Sure.
If it's, whether you're losing weight and getting lean muscle, whether you do, to lose weight, you have to consume less calories. Mm-hmm. And so when you add those in and don't account for them, that's where they're like, oh, but that's where, like you said, it's deceiving. They think they're eating well.
Right.
But because of what they're drinking, and it could be alcohol, it could be soda.
Sure.
Both kill your fitness journey and your process through it. So I mean, it is very.
And I never realized this either. Like when, not that I ever was a big drinker, but you know, alcohol or just, it's wheat. It's loaded with carbs, and just on top of that, it's loaded with glyphosate too. I saw a report recently that most of the beer is filled with glyphosate, which is just weed killer essentially. Sure. So I mean, there's a plethora of problems with alcohol and etc. But so to tie this back to you, if somebody is on that path, kind of like a little bit of a self-destruction path, what can you do to help them a little bit?
I think just being there and supporting them, just meeting them where they are, understanding them, letting them know that, you know, you're not the only one that's been here. There is hope. We can get through this. Mm-hmm. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. Yeah. And just there, like I said, because of our community, we have so many, women that have been in some sort of situation like that or similar that they can find and relate to. And that's why it's so much more than just a workout, a 40-minute workout every day. Mm-hmm. It is something that you become
part of.
Yeah, that. And we talk about addiction. Mm-hmm. You can be addicted to working out.
100%.
And what is wrong with that?
Right.
You know, it can only be a good thing. And it can only bring good things.
Right.
So if that is what we have to turn off, so every time you want to drink, go for a walk. Or, you know what I mean? If that's what you have to supplement it with, let's go. Kind of the same thing when people want to quit smoking. They're like, okay, every time you want a cigarette, go do this.
Right.
You know, same thing. You can supplement that and exercise. And it is such a stress relief. It is such a energy boost. And again, if you're, doing it at home, start somewhere, but get to a community, like, especially if you're in a point in your life where you're off. You just don't know I'm just not feeling myself.
Sure.
I'm down. I'm out. I'm just off.
Yeah.
I tell the ladies all the time, if you haven't been to the gym and you feel like that, it's because you haven't been to the gym. Get to the gym.
Right.
Get to the gym. You are feeling this way because your body needs this.
Yeah.
And
needs connection.
Yeah, it does. There's just so much more that that workout does for your body and mind that you don't even realize. So and when you have that community around you and you start talking about those feelings, they're gonna be like, "Girl, I didn't see you at the gym. What was up?"
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
just different things like that that will trigger those thoughts, those responses, those means of therapy and communication to help you through that. Because it's not easy just to come out and be like, yeah, I drink a lot, I got a problem. You know what I mean? And sometimes when we have our challenges, or we're sitting down with ladies and we're like, okay, we in order for our nutrition, you need to track for a week. Then we sit down and we go over that. We talk about it. And we want you to be raw honest with us. We want to know everything that you are putting in your mouth, from sun up to sundown for 7 straight days.
Right.
Because we want to make this, valuable for you.
Of course. Yeah.
And so sometimes that's when we see, okay, we're kind of consuming a lot of alcohol every evening.
Right.
Well, that's how my downtime. That's when I need to decompress. That's how no judgment. Never. We are a judgment-free zone. We will not judge you, but we want to help you.
Yeah. You're observing but not judging.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Let's see what its benefits are, why we're doing it, and figure out what else. Is there other options? Is this, maybe they don't even realize it. So there's just a lot of other doors that will open up to that. And it's easier to open up that way versus, coming into the gym every day feeling hungover, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just not, you're going to get to the point where you start to have those conversations or feel more comfortable having them.
Yeah.
So that, we can help them through that process.
And I feel like so many people are going through stuff right now, just across the board, men, women, all across the board.
Something else too, because we talk about a lot on losing weight.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of ladies that have started our gym that didn't need to lose weight. They needed to eat better. They need to gain some muscle, to be stronger, to feel better, because they weren't getting enough of the good stuff that they needed.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of ladies transition from just being real thin and just weak and just tired all the time to some muscle definition, some color back in their skin, some energy
confidence.
Back into their life. Confidence. Absolutely.
Right?
100% confidence.
Yeah.
To see some shy,
That's beautiful.
to their self person. And now they're like, let's go, ladies.
Go.
They're the ones to push and pump. So
that's beautiful.
There's those as well. We'd always want to focus on the losing aspect, because there's so much more.
Of course.
Muscle gain as well, and just leaning out your muscle and just putting on, people are always like, well, I don't want to look too muscular.
Right.
I don't want to look like a dude.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot to look like a dude, and not just by picking up 10 extra, 5 extra pounds, because you're to that level. And that's another thing. It's just the education is because I'll have a lot of ladies that say, well, and I'll just be, I don't want arms like you. I'm like, you won't. It's okay. I got you. Like you don't, not everybody will happen that way. And so it works. It does. So literally there's something for everyone. And just getting back into moving.
Yeah, and I wonder if they put up those roadblocks in front of them just so they are like, I don't want to look like that because I don't want to be a guy. But I wonder if it's just a little bit of insecurity.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like I'm gonna have to lean into this because working out's not fun.
No,
it's not
there are days that are not fun.
Yeah,
you're
gonna feel great.
Yes, and that's the other thing too. Like, even when you don't you get up and you don't want to work out. Like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. Get up and do it anyway.
Right.
Always get up and go and do it anyway, because I've heard people say this before. I've never heard someone say, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have got up and worked out today.
Right.
I wish I would have not done that workout today. No one ever says that.
Never.
You may say, oh my gosh, that's tough and it was hard and it sucked, but I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah, you're gonna feel great.
Yeah.
And there's momentum in that, and it carries over to aspects of your real life as well.
Yes.
It's like you feel like, okay, that I can't get this job or I can't do this thing, and then when you go into the gym and you realize, well, I can do 10 pull-ups or I can can lift this.
Oh, yeah.
And then I really wanted to stop in the second minute, but I didn't.
Right.
And I kept going.
Yes.
And all of that
I did it.
transitions over to other areas in your
Sure.
life, you know, and in professional and personal life and all those other things.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely I feel like it's one of those. Working out is, a lot of people want that instant gratification, but there is so much reward by just doing it. And just like you said, when the days that you don't want to do it, those are the days that you got to do it.
Yes.
It's like, okay,
Absolutely.
maybe you got an injury and maybe you need to scale something, but maybe
still
you're
move.
right. But you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this now because I can't use this. But you know what? You get out there, ride the assault bike.
Yeah.
Or, you know, back squat a little bit, you know, can do anything for 30 minutes. And, you know, just doing 300 air squats, you know, which is hard.
Yeah.
Just doing that, you know, 300 air squats, which is the
Body
Murph.
weight only.
Yeah, just a Murph workout. Just do 300 air squats.
Yes.
That alone, I'll try to go out there in the curb and do that. And
the incline?
Yeah, incline. I'll try to do like 200 air squats, and just to keep, you know, if you have an injury, just to keep me moving, keep status quo and all that other good stuff. But yeah, it's definitely interesting time. So where do you see the fitness world going from here? Like, a lot of changes going on. AI is coming on board. You've got a lot of people working out at home. Some people are working out at 24-hour fitness. What's the next thing for fitness?
I think there's always the next best thing.
F45.
You know?
I've seen F45 out there.
I feel like in the end, it always is just finding what you love to do and doing it. Don't let, it's too expensive. I have a gym at home. I have, you know, I've got ladies that have been members for the entire 9 years we've been open.
Wow.
And and they keep coming back, and, you know, they keep coming every day and they keep showing up every day, and that's what works for them. And so you can't put a price tag on that.
Right.
And they're going to live longer, and they're going to be in a better mental space, and they're going to be a better person for their world and for themselves. So yes, you can always try the next best things. I'm not saying not to do that, but once you find something that you love, it's just like anything else in life. You keep showing up for it and you keep doing it. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have tough days. No excuses. Right now it's the time of the year. Everybody's penny pinching. You know, the economy is going to do its thing or not do its thing. I get it. But when you break it down, and for example, at my gym, it's $37 a week.
It's worth it.
It is. And we can break it down for you that way. You know what I mean? If it's truly what you love and it's getting you healthier and stronger physically, mentally, and giving you a community, do it.
Sure.
If going to the gym at midnight because it's a 24-hour fitness and you can get in and get your workout done and that works for you, keep doing it.
Sure.
Pay the whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because in the long run, you're going to end up paying what in prescriptions because that's what they're going to prescribe you.
Yeah.
You're going to end up paying what in therapy because that's what they're going to keep you from, you know, losing your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All this stuff can correlate back to fitness. And again, if being at home is your thing and that's where you want to be at, keep doing it. Keep showing up and keep doing it. Don't be afraid to try the new things if that's what you want to do. You know, so we talk about this all the time. That, you know, there's ladies that have gone and circled to different gyms and have come back. There are ladies that have gone to different gyms and have stayed there. We're a community. And as long as you're getting out there and you're moving and you're giving yourself and you're becoming the best you can be, I am behind you.
Awesome.
And I will support you in whatever door you walk in or out of because I want what's best for you.
Good job.
You know, so and that's what it takes. You know, I'm here to meet you where you're at and get you where you want to be. And so yeah, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of stuff coming our way.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new stuff coming for sure. Yeah, red light therapy is a big one, and hot box sauna is a big one. Cryo is a big one, and I've always, you know, red light therapy. You hear a lot of good things about it.
I feel like it's one of those things, though. Again, you have to commit to.
I agree.
It's not a one-time thing.
100%.
Or I think I want to do this today. I haven't done this in a while. Let's go do it again.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's not a magic pill.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
you got to keep doing it.
All of those things again go back to how it's intended. You got to do it the way it's intended. You know, and you got to. it's not, there's no quick fix.
Yeah. And there's a lot of different modalities you can do too, even from a mental health perspective, to get out of that crazy monkey mind of yours and get into more to the body. Breath work's a big one.
Oh yeah.
Breath work is a big one to do that. And it takes time to develop that relationship with the body and the breath.
Yes.
You would never think, I was never a firm believer in it until I tried it. And it is definitely very useful and does put you in a different altered state of consciousness. It really does.
It does.
But it is work.
Yeah.
So it's breath
again,
work.
Yeah. Back to, it's not, don't do it once and be like, yep, not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not how it works.
Right.
And, the same thing, the whole health and fitness in general, again, if it's quick and easy, it's not going to last.
Right.
This is something that you want to do and enjoy because you need to be doing this until you are done.
Yeah.
Until
until
you meet heaven, you
right?
got it. Heaven's gates. You need to be doing this till then, and then maybe beyond. But this isn't something. I tell the ladies too. We do box jumps and things like that. I don't care if you jump on the baby box. You've got to be able to get up off that ground. What if a snake crawls out in front of you? You got to jump up and not die doing it, and be able to get your body off the ground or to move out of the way of a vehicle or whatever's coming at you. You got to be able to move your body just that little bitty bit. So the more you practice it, the stronger you'll get, and you'll eventually get to a bigger box. Or that's okay if you don't, but you're going to stay here and you're going to get your feet up off that ground and back down on that floor, up off that ground and back down off that floor as many times as it takes just to get stronger and stronger because you want to do that for the rest of your life.
Right.
You want to be able to get up and down, carry your groceries in, walk up steps and not feel
young.
Yeah.
And you could tell too. You meet those people out there. You're like, how old are you? You're like, how old are you?
Yes.
It's like you got that young mindset and everyone's happy and joyful and they're flowing and they're usually those fitness dudes.
Yeah, it's true. It's
or
so
gals.
True.
Yeah.
I know. My birthday is Monday. I will be 44 and I do
goodness.
not
Happy
feel
birthday.
it at all.
Right? That's a good thing.
I don't.
Right. That's a good thing.
I feel better now than I ever did in my 20s. I do.
Yeah.
And it can happen. It's possible. It's true.
But it's a testament to your work and just the diet. The diet is everything. I just tell people just fix but it's so hard. I mean, I remember.
I do too.
I remember I was hooked on that stuff.
When having, families and kids.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to fix food for everyone.
Right.
But it's the same process. They're going to get used to it just like you're going to get used to it. And yes, you're going to have those times where you have to have, those quick little snacks and things like that. Just be mindful.
Right.
Plan a little bit so that you don't buy the bag of Doritos. If it's not in your house, you won't eat it.
Right.
If it's not in the house, the kids won't eat it.
Exactly.
Just don't have it, and they'll never know any different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's going to be a process if that's what you're used to right now. But you'll get through it.
Yeah.
And it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
And I really think I think that it won't be as expensive as you think.
It's very true.
Yeah, I think once you start cooking your own food and you realize, this chuck roast that I just put in my Instapot, that's going to, I'm going to live by myself. It's going to last me 3-4 days.
Absolutely.
And then I might throw in, some eggs for breakfast, 4 eggs or whatever, some fruit and some sweet potatoes and maybe a hamburger or
I've
a steak.
had ground beef with my eggs before.
100%. I love ground beef with eggs. I like 2 eggs and then like 4 grams of protein or whatever, and then throw 2 eggs in there. It's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. But it's just so important. And I think one of the most important things too is when you do start to eat healthy and you focus on your protein is eat your protein first.
Yes.
That's going to fill you up. It's
does.
It's going to fill you up. Eat your, whatever, you have beef. And I'm more of a beef guy. You're more of a fish person.
I'm due the chicken. I like meat.
Chicken's good too.
I probably I go back and forth between the fish and the chicken. But I do like like I said, ground beef. I do steak. I do really like
I love steak.
But,
I'm gonna make some today.
but yeah, I do. Like I said, going back to just where I'm, what's going on in life. The chicken thighs are just really easy and quick and get what I need. It gives me what I need. It satisfies my taste.
And you put them in the air fryer?
I do. I just season them, whatever seasoning, and air fry and container. And
chicken thighs, no skin. I'll have to give that a shot.
I love
and then
it.
jasmine rice is a big one too, right?
I
need to eat more carbs.
I do cauliflower rice, and I love sweet potatoes. So I just
do you bake them or
I
roast
nuke them
them
in the microwave.
Really?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
How long?
5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
And it works?
It does.
I never knew that.
Yeah. I love it.
You poke holes in it prior? 5 minute sweet potato.
Yep. You can do air frying.
Yeah, I've done air fry for sure. And then I'll cut them up and then put them in, I'll roast them.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'll cut them up and then I'll do that with beets too.
Well, so when I roasting though, for me, time-wise, sometimes I don't have enough time because of sweet potatoes, but that's why I will nuke them. But it's easy for me. And again, that's what I'm do right. And sweet potatoes are my thing right now. I feel like I cycle through some stuff. Broccoli was a big thing in the air fryer. I like that crispy, kind of soft, kind of crunchy broccoli.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
Salt
so
and pepper. What about, what else do you try for carbs? What else do you do
fruit?
for carbs?
I'm a big fruit person. Yeah. So I try to do the natural fruit with carbs.
What's your fruit? What kind of fruit?
I do actually this morning I had banana, strawberry, and blueberries.
Yeah.
Usually always my go-to. I love mangoes.
Organic or no?
Sometimes I do. Depends on if I can find it, to be honest with you, or what it looks like in the store.
Right.
I do my bananas usually are typically organic.
Yeah.
Sometimes my blueberries are, like I said, it just depends on what they look like in the store.
And they're so expensive. Like organic blueberries, like $7 now.
Yeah, they can be.
What the hell?
Yeah. So it just depends, honestly.
Yeah.
Is it something I set out for? Make sure I always have it? No.
Gotcha.
No. I mean, I do, I don't like to always go to like multiple different stores either.
I know.
So
it's like, I just want to go to one store.
But I'm also a big mango person. I love mangoes.
Oh, mangoes are delicious. Mangoes. Yeah.
So that's another one of mine. But and then I stick to, as far as, like I said, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. I like to like little roasted potatoes, like the baby, red. Reds.
Yeah,
every now and then. But just if I want to switch it up, I'm feeling kind of just wanting something different.
What about oatmeal?
I'll eat it, but I'm not a huge, it's just not, not for me.
Yeah.
I've done the overnight oats and things like that before. It's okay. I'm just.
Yeah. I think oatmeal is yummy. Who doesn't love oatmeal? But I think there is some inflammation.
Yes.
I found with oatmeal.
Yeah, I think it depends on the ingredients and what kind you're buying.
Right.
And then obviously what you add into them.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Fruit and then maybe a little bit of honey. That's about it.
Yeah.
But definitely find where if I don't eat oatmeal and then I do, I'll be very achy the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just from the inflammation. And I think it's from the or it might be a placebo effect. Who knows? But it definitely seems like, it's like, And I've heard that before because, again, it goes back to that beer comment. Everything's got glyphosate in it because that's the way we mass produce all of our crops and agriculture. So it is what it is. But I think that's part of it. But one of the doctors, the MD that I follow is Paul Saladino, I think his name is, MD Paul Saladino. He lives down in Costa Rica. And he's more of a protein, fruit, and veggie kind of guy. So that's kind of the diet that I tend to stick by. But, it goes to what works for you.
Yes.
And understanding your body. And then once you start to eat clean, you really get an idea of your body. You totally do. Yeah. You're totally like, oh, I can't eat that. That jacked me up. Or this gave me whatever. And it's just like, But you don't realize these things until you do it.
You start doing it.
Until you start doing it. And you're just like, holy smokes. I mean, there's this food, this poisoning of our food is a real thing.
Yeah, you start to tune in and start to pay attention to things.
For
and
sure.
how you feel when you do start switching those things up.
Yeah.
And that's important too, because sometimes people don't, they're like, oh yeah, things are happening. I feel different, good or bad or indifferent, whichever way it is, but they don't pay attention to it and associate it with what they're eating.
Right.
So just being mindful of, while you're doing this, this is a process. And when these things start happening and you feel different, think about what is that I ate? What did I do? What did I eat differently or take out of my diet?
Sure. And it's not just how did I feel better physically, but how do I feel mentally too?
Yes.
Right?
So like you said, you got that brain fog when you're eating.
Yeah, got that brain fog and you're just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So,
hard to focus, hard to,
Right.
And memory, I feel, that's 100%. Associated with that too.
Yeah, and then as we age gracefully, it doesn't get any easier. Have you noticed that? You're just like, oh, I can't remember stuff like I used to. You're just like, or I can't see shit. Like now that I hit the big 5-0, I'm just like, oh boy, I really need my readers now. You're like, oh, damn it. Mother Nature's undefeated.
Very true. Yeah. Very true.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the input and your entrepreneurial spirit and sharing your fitness journey. And I hope people can learn from you and learn from us and just the discussion in general. And that's kind of the
just opening that discussion.
Yeah,
like
that's the intent for these discussions, to let people realize, hey, here's what's really going on. Don't rely on other people or the government to manage your food and to make sure you're eating healthy food. Otherwise,
and ask
you're
the
not going
questions.
to.
This is not like something to come at anybody with, or to saying what you're doing is wrong.
Right.
This is just to open the door and the means of communication and being like, okay, maybe I need to think about this. Let's step back and let me process that, and not saying that what you're doing is right or wrong, but just having the conversations,
absolutely,
and talking about it,
an open, honest conversation, and that's what's needed in tough discussions like this, because we're all a little bit in our egos. No one wants to be told I'm not doing this right or this or that. But when you see people who are our age and they look great and they're doing great things and they're eating healthy, and those are people that maybe you should follow and inspire. Like this person inspires me to keep to keep going and to be fit and to stay young, at least, and do the best thing we can with the vessels that we have, and take care of them. So, Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks.